Shlema for Brian Delay Bas Yehudis Ariella. Also to the Safir Mishpacha, Lul Nishmas Dvar Bas Chaim Mishpacha, Holy Simcha Nachas and Bracha. Bayom Darkecha, Tefillah, Maimon Tefillah, page Reish Chavav. It's mine? I don't know. I left it here yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll take it back to the
I'll take
office.
that.
Ikke mashe dalad, page Reish Chavav dalad. Ikke mashe kevei im ha'odem yatzliach lekaven b'tfilaso. L'dabek is nafsho v'Hashem yisborach beis tfilaso. Hu madreges kedushas ha'odem. The person's ability to be able to enter fully into davening, to be able to be in davening, depends to a great extent upon where he's holding in his Avoda of Kedusha, Shmir Sabris, Shmir Seinaim, Shmir Samachshavas, and so on. Kel Zeh HaKol Omei. Because everything really depends on that. Of course, it's true of all of our Avodah Hashem, but particularly when it comes to davening. Ki kfi sheha'adam shemer sabris, because to the degree that a person is able to be shemer sabris, to be strong when it comes to what he looks at and his behavior, his conduct, and that inyan of kedusha sabris. Matzliach lehisnatek mehashekesh la'klipas. He's able to tear himself away from the sheker of the klipas, of the filth of the other side. To that degree, he's able to enter into the place of Hashem, into the truth of Hashem, into the kedusha of the Shechina, and so on. And to be able to feel, to experience the Or of Elokus. Ki aklipas mastiris es Messias Hashem es barach v'amitasa. Because the klipas, these klipas are mastiras, they're concealing, they're hiding, they're separating between ourselves and Messias Hashem v'amitasa, and the Messias of Hashem and the truth of Hashem's presence. This has a tremendous effect upon davening, and much of the difficulty that the modern world has with davening is due to, not everything, but is due to this infiltration of the Sitra Achra, this inyan of Pagam HaBris, and the things that people have seen in their lives. An average Jew 20 years ago, 30 years ago, certainly 100 years ago, 200 years ago, wouldn't have seen in his entire lifetime what a typical person could see now 15 minutes in an average day. The Jew wouldn't have seen his entire lifetimes, wouldn't have seen it or wouldn't have imagined, let alone Chalila engaged in any of the type of behaviors that are so prevalent these days, and because of that, it was easier, much easier, for a typical Jew in those years to be able to step out of the life that he was in the market, in his house, to step out and to go into shul, to go into tefillah. He wasn't wearing begodim tzoim, the filthy garments of Tafshin Pei Dalet. And he was able to transition from where he was at that moment into Shachris Minchem Arav, into his Bodhidus. That's become infinitely harder because of the mitzias of the world that we're living in. So it has a tremendous effect upon our davening. People don't feel the presence of the Shekhinah. We see that in our shuls. We see that when it comes to davening, it's very, very hard to be mischazik in tefillah. It's very hard to have hargoshes of elokus because there's a terrible infiltration, of Hamas in our heads, in our hearts, of that tumah, of Yishmael, that niyuf, and the filth of Yishmael. It's very hard. Ki aklipas mastirus is mitzias Hashem yisbarach amitasa. Because she'adam paishet es aklipas, the person is able to tear away the klipas, u'misalkam b'mesirus nefesh, drive them away with mesirus nefesh. The fi inyanam, azay miyad, the person will experience, will see immediately. It's not something that one has to wait for immediately. Zelu mazeh, yetzlich lahargish as Hashem yisbarach. They'll be able to pick up the frequencies of Hashem's presence as being concealed, as being blocked by that which Hashem hates most. Which Chazal say that Hashem is soinias hazima. Hashem despises this inyan of that tumah, of that impurity of Pagam Habris. And the Shekhinah can't sit together with such machshavas and such feelings and such experiences. So whenever we make an effort to be masalik, to be paishet these klipas of Pagam Habris and all that's about, then Zelu Mazah, the person will be able to feel the Shekhinah, the Hagis Hashem yisbarach. Adam toim mara b'tefillah. And when a person sees that not only is he not feeling elokus, and not only is he not davening with his slavos and with cheshek, but he actually feels a bitterness in davening. He feels a bitterness in davening. That to go to shul or wherever he's davening, but to open up the siddur, that it's the thought of an extra of tachnan when he thought it wasn't going to be tachnan is overwhelming and spoils his day. Or just in general that to try to rush through the words or not to say the words. The words taste bitter in his mouth, and to just fumble quickly and to make his way through. The famim is Moshe Weinberger. Not always, but sometimes there's a very strong message that's coming to him from Shemaim. Why is he tasting such bitterness in these words that are so sweet? Most of these words, many of these words are from David HaMelech, and the Anshe Knesset Gdolah. These are all very, very, very sweet and beautiful words, and an opportunity to speak to Hashem yisbarach. Why is it so bitter? Why is it that 37 minutes in shul in the morning is so hard? Why is it that an hour and a half or 2 hours in shul on a Shabbos is so difficult that a person can't make his way there on time and can't stay for the entire time and so on? Why is that? Where does that merirus come from? So a significant part of the problem is that Hashem is telling him, "Shu'en misnayik kedusha karoylo." You're not conducting your life in a way of kedusha. You have to work harder. You have to work harder. There are these klipas and these manias between yourself and Kodesh Baruch Hu. ukechol sheyoyse b'kedusha, and to the degree that a person works perfection, but that a person is trying to fight with these klippos and trying to add kedusha to his life. That's why even that which was always would have been so pasha to a person. I know I've spoken about this before, and I know that people have a difficulty with this, and I'm not from the Bali Musa, but to take to heart that it should be so pasha to a person that how could a person daven from a telephone? It says, to me, it's such a pell I never in my life. I'd rather not daven. I'd rather just say what I remember by heart if I don't have a siddur. Well, I don't understand, why can't a person have a siddur? Not in Saudi Arabia or something. So it's a pella. How could a person daven from a telephone? It's a clear hashchasim. It has that a person on that same thing he uses for looking. Even I'm not saying God forbid that a person's looking chalila at disgusting things, but there are disgusting things. I know it's not in there. It's like it's not. I know enough about how it works. It's not like there are little bad pictures inside the phone. It was so far from kedusha that a person doesn't see anything. There could be 50 siddurim sitting around all around him. He stands there with a telephone. I asked somebody once that I felt comfortable enough to ask him about that. I said, why are you using a phone? There's siddurim all over here. She says, but it's easier to read or something. It lights up. What kind of stupid thing is that? We managed to hold a siddur. This is easier because it lights up and it shows them where yellow. We can't work this out. When you're holding a siddur, the siddur was printed for kedusha. The whole mitzvah of the siddur is that a Jew should have a shaykhus baruch Hu. Who could say it? The whole mitzvah of this thing is what? Is what? To daven from it. But even like a pashata hargosha, to be a certain sensitivity. Now you go, you see standing, you go to a wedding, you go someplace, okay, nobody, they don't have the siddur. But for all the years, we managed to have little siddur. We managed to have people had to daven by heart, to close their eyes, whatever it is. So it's just a sensitivity to daven from that thing. It's so, to me, it's such a strange thing. And I know that that sounds odd to people. What's the big deal? But if you feel that way, it's because you've lost a certain sensitivity to kedusha. It's not the same thing that's used for things that are not kedusha. A siddur is not that. No, you don't take a siddur to hammer in nails. Not that there's anything wrong with hammering in a nail. I can't. What should I say? What example can I give? The siddur is printed for you to daven from, and it's filled with the name of Hashem. You take on a phone, it's nothing. Even if the phone doesn't have the potential to bring out all kinds of images that come up on a phone, it doesn't have the Shem Havaya in it. So you say, well, it doesn't have any disgusting pictures really in it. It also doesn't have the Shem Havaya in it. But the siddur does. The siddur has the Isis in it. This is nothing. It's Ketzel over. It's like a passing shadow. So what is it? You go now, half the oilam standing there looking at this thing. You go to a chasna, the guy gets up to daven for the Amid. Anybody chiv, about to go out for bedekin. The guy stands over there for hurachim yichaper over the shamals with the thing. It's such a chesar in the most basic sensitivity for kedusha. But that's our problem. He's holding in his hand. By davening, he's holding in his hand that which is in the Yisayin, never to daven the rest of his life. He's holding it in his hand. Used to be that it would be further away someplace, and you hold a siddur in your hand. Now you're holding in your hand the thing itself, which is destroying your life. And people, when they hear these kind of diburim, and I don't like to talk in such a, like to sound like such a kitzoni, but it's not kitzoni. It's not extreme. It's the olive base of being a yid, of being a Jew. Better to daven by heart. And if you don't have to daven by heart, then figure out how to get for $1 a little siddur. How come we were able to do that? I grew up in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. Yeah, well, have a little siddur. There's something cool about davening for your phone. You press the button and it comes on. Any nusach you want. And it lights up for Yalav Over. You can't remember Yalav Over once a month. Seriously. Doesn't work out. And if you forget it, then whatever the Allah says, do it again. I mean, so what? But instead, person goes around the Klimashkas. All the children are growing up watching their fathers. So walking around davening for fun. So what's going to be? No. I think it's called preaching to the converted. I know that you understand this and you feel this, and that this is something which you also agree with me is bizarre. But just what's going on in the world. Such a lack of feeling for Kedusha. So somebody asked me the other day, he was very excited. He said, did you see that there was in a certain place where you drive, that there's a billboard with the hostages on it. So I said to him, I don't look at billboards. What are you looking up at billboards? Why should you be looking up at any billboard? Well, you have a mazel that this one has, the holy faces of our brothers and sisters. It was a mazel. What are the percentages? What's the percentage of billboards that have the pictures of Jews on them? What are you looking up? Well, you're driving to the city. You have to go to the city. It's bad enough. So you're looking up to see what's going on over here. What do you think is going on? Oh, you saw a billboard with the hostages. If you want to look at the hostages, take also a little siddur with a picture inside. They're looking up at billboards. But again, it sounds crazy. I know I sound like I'm Michigan. You're not allowed to look at a billboard? No. You're not allowed to. We started to learn the halachas in Shama Continue on Sunday morning. No, you're absolutely not allowed to look at a billboard. What do you mean, all billboards? You know how people talk. They talk like these kinds of shyness. No, it's not all billboards. Maybe 72.6% of them are things that Jewish eyes years ago in a whole lifetime never would have seen. One billboard. And this was already 30, 40 years ago in New York. I'm not talking about Tush and Pedal. But it's a sensitivity. And all of these things make a huge impact upon our feeling of the presence of the Shekhinah, because the Shekhinah can't be in such a thing. And then we're wondering, why is it when it comes to davening, it's so hard to crank out a couple of words and it has such a merirus. Davening is the hardest thing. The same person could sit and learn for Gewaldige Daf Yomi, and he loves going to Shiurim, and he sits with notebooks and he's writing and these things, and he's got piles of straw on his table. But to say it, to bench in a normal way, he can't bench. Even though he has it on his phone. And it's lit up. These Shabbos he gets off from that. Imagine, it doesn't have to say V'tzevach Litzenu, with lights on. It's a bench, just a bench. To be able to bench, to open up a bencher, and to be able to take a few minutes and to say the words in a way that's with musikas, that's careful and that's slow. The food he tasted, he ate nice and slowly. And he enjoyed every bite. But he can't bear to bite a few words of benching. And it's a place to begin to work on this, to try to say, at least to say benching, to bench in a way that's slow and from a bencher, carefully to say the words. But it's hard. More that a person works on this inyan of Kedusha, he'll see 1,000% the correlation between Avoda and Kedusha and Tefillah. 1,000%. Kach tisrab etzla dveikus v'ara Tefillah. Ki hatzlocha bekavana b'Tefillah tluya b'kesher emes im hashchina. Because a person having hatzlocha in davening depends upon having a kesher of emes with the Shechina without all kinds of junk in between himself and the Shechina. This is the main eitzah. So you have a lot of eitzahs. We've been talking about all kinds of different things when it comes to davening. There are many, many more eitzahs when it comes to davening. But the most difficult and the most effective eitzah is kedusha. It takes away the things that are blocking, that are in the way. The person wanted very, very badly. He's in Yerushalayim and he wanted very, very badly to daven that morning at the kosel. And he planned that whole day that it should begin with a beautiful tefillah by the kosel. And there's horrible, horrible traffic, and he can't get past Mamila. He's on that long line, and he can't get up the road, and he can't get into the city, and he says, and it's getting late, and so on and so forth. So that would cause him agmas nefesh, because there's something in between himself and the kosel. And there's a lot of traffic when you want to get to the Shechina. And there's a way to clear away the traffic. There shouldn't be traffic. And that's called Kedusha. The Avodah Kedusha is to clear away the traffic. That's the Eitzah Hikar, is to get rid of traffic between ourselves and the Shechina. That there shouldn't be blockages. Eitzah Hikar is Lizkas Lahargish Tam Umesikus Betfil. And that's the strongest eitzah for a person to be able to feel a taste, to feel a mesikus, a sweetness and feeling in davening. This is Shin Pei Zayin. Kedusha is madregas, agabe madregas. Of course, there are many, many madregas in this avodah of kedusha. Agami sherochak miram mamish. And even a person who really is far away from the bad stuff, the really bad stuff, darshim and alis. There's still a drisha to go higher and higher. There are many madregas to work on kedusha. The tzaddikim, of course, go higher and higher to be able to separate themselves not only from disgusting things of this world, but from inyanim of the world, of the maim rabim, of thoughts of, even thoughts that of Parnes and other things of this world, to be able to, during davening, to have a mind that's clear. And to the extent that a person is working on this avodah of kedusha, it's not only the horrible things and the filthy things, but just inyanim of hayalma, of this world, because all of the things of this world are to some degree blocking that connection to the Shechina. Ad shebemeshech hazman yizkel hagila madrega shel yachshav v'yitopes binyanei elam hazeh bechlal. The person is able to come to such a madrega that during davening, that his mind is not overtaken, at least during davening, that his mind is not overtaken by. Leave it there. It's okay. That his mind is not overtaken by other things. Even things that are harmless. Just thinking about, things that are stop. That his mind is able to be clear. Shebechol davar ve'inyan. Rav Schwartz, the author of all the Svarim of Bilvavi Mishkan Edna, we've been zeicher to have here over the years. There's a whole sefer, it hasn't been translated into English yet. Some of the Svarim are in English, but there's a whole sefer just on this Avodah of Machshava. But the Avodah of Machshava, Shmir Samachshava, Rikus, there are actually two Svarim. There's one on machshava, and there's another one on concentrating, on rikus, which is of course a very, very important tonight to be able to daven. Shmir samachshava, and rikus, concentrating, thinking. We're going to be talking more about these things in the Yosef Atzadik Chabur. But the person's able to have a hargosh, have a lukus. Shaliach Shavitav's Binyan, he says, Elam Azabichlal, Yiskel Hargish Rakas Ashchina Kadosh B'chol Davavenya. To be able to feel the Shechina Kadosh B'chol Davavenya. Zenikre is Pashtus Agashmius. This is referred to in the Kadmainim, in the Rishonim, in the Tur. This is referred to as a Pashtus Agashmius, stripping away the Gashmius, peeling away the Gashmius. Lazav the Gamri is in Yoni Hagashmius. This is the Nina Vayonas Vayitachutz of Yosef Atzadik running away from Aish's Potiphar. The Isa Rabbi Yoina, Benifsak B'Shulchan Aruch, Shebetfila Tzarech Lagila B'Chinas Espashus Hagashmius. It's not a Chassidish thing. It's not a Madregan Chassidus. It's in Shulchan Aruch. It's in Torah and Shulchan Aruch. That in order to experience davening to its fullest, a person needs to come to a place of Espashus Hagashmius. That's why we see in Chazal that they spent an hour before davening working on whatever in that Avoda of Espashus Hagashmius they were. Can you imagine nowadays that on a regular morning people would be in shul for 3 hours for Shachris on Tuesday, an hour before davening. It means not to come by Ishtabach. An hour before davening, and then an hour after davening. Davening itself. You see in Tanya how the Baal Tanya was in a spoiler. He said, it's hard for me to be makabel, that I heard rumors that there are chassidim of mine in different places, that some of them are davening, and the davening is on a regular shachris is less than an hour and a half. So it's hard for me to be makabel such a thing. That it's different hasag of davening. Spashus Agashmius Levatam Helev Kol Tanugi Behev Le'elam Hazeh Hanaisa. To be able, Rabbi Yoina says, to be able to clear away, to delete all of the noise, all of the interference. Shin Peches Seif Chasidim Kosav Shkash Oda Margiv Simcha Vor Achbeit Filosof. It's brought down already in the Sefer Chasidim for Ben Yehuda Chassid. So if a person, Kasher Adam Margiv Simcha Vor Achbeit Filosof, a person is feeling tremendous joy, and as we tremendous, a person feels Simcha Vor after davening, not because he's done, but he feels a Simcha in the Or after davening. It's a Siman Shet Filoso His Kabla. It's a Siman that the davening was well received. Even though we believe in this, Ram tell us that every tefillah that we say is heard by Hashem, and every tefillah is important. Hashem is brought. When a person feels simcha and or after davening, this is a siman that his davening reached the highest place. Al-Pirob is a siman shes kabla tefillah. Al-Pirob is a siman that the davening was received. Gamba Paul Mamish Lamata B'Lameinu, and it's going to have an effect. It's going to be piled even here in this world. Ki dveikus v'or shemurgash b'levavos Yisrael hu inyan gadol. Because when the Jewish heart feels this or and this simcha, it's a big thing. When a person is able to feel this by davening, and there's the shiraim of it after davening. Should give him tremendous chizuk to reassure him and to be mechazik him that the davening reached its destination in a very strong way. Mikroivil his malos gamba mamish, and it's very likely that it's going to be poil something mamish, even in this world. Perek Gimel. This is a very big sugya. The meaning of hachana for davening that I mentioned a minute ago, how the Kadmonim used to make very, very great preparations when it came to davening, to entering into the palace of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They make very big hachanas. Shachlasas hachana l'tefillah. There's some very simple and sweet mamarim from Rav Sasson Zolgazon Zayin in the Torahs that for Chanukah, for Kislev, for Cheshvan Kislev, for this inyan of hachanas for tefillah. If you take a look, you'll see. And in his svarim that he has on davening, very, very simple and very clear. The inyan of preparing for davening. Sarach lasas hachana l'tefillah, hein ha'idei tefillah, sheyivakesh me'Hashem Yisbarach she'aslicheu l'spal karoi. To daven, that the davening should be in the right way. Hein ha'idei limud haTorah. And a very, very, very powerful thing is for a person to learn, at least a little bit to learn, before davening. Shachris mincha mar. To try to learn at least to learn a little bit, if possible, l'moed kodem hatefillah. To learn before davening. Shin peitas, k'shiroi ha'adam she'eino matzliach le'espalo, Yosef believing at Torah Kodesh. The person sees that davening is very hard. One of the most effective things to do to help is to learn more before davening. We'll see after davening as well. He called Chisaron sheyesh b'olam mimasha enemis atzim kiroi b'Torah Kodesh, because all of the chisaronis is we're not learning as much as we could and as seriously as we could. And to the degree that we try hard to learn, we're going to be able to make that connection with the Shechina. Whenever it comes to Chisraelis, all the things that are deficient in our lives, Ben Gashmis and Ruchniist, one of the most powerful things to do is to add more learning. Through learning, to be ma'ira the sherish of hashpa, the root of hashpa, of shefa. And then to daven, that the davening should be good. First to learn, strong, even a few minutes, and then to daven for the davening, and then to daven. By that tefillah nimshach hashefa l'olam l'maisa. Because the Torah opens up the shorish of the shefa, and then to daven for davening draws the tefillah draws the davening into the world, very much down into the world. The Pesach, the opening, is the limud haTorah, and the actual hamshacha into the metzias of the davening is through a tefillah. It's the tefillah. Back inside. There are two other things that are very, very chashuv to do before davening. Many, many, many deep reasons for that. To give something, even a coin, whatever it is, to give some tzedakah. The Kabbalah's mitzvahs, and as is printed in many of the Siddurim, that before you begin davening, to say, "Hareini mekabel alai mitzvahs asay, shel v'ahavta l'reacha kamecha." To accept upon yourself the mitzvah, to try to connect to the mitzvah of Ahavas Yisrael, of v'ahavta l'reacha kamecha. Shin Sadik down. Inyan tzedakah movaches a moira schus v'rachmem. When a person gives tzedakah, even a little bit of tzedakah, it's moira a tremendous schus in Shemayim and rachmem. It opens up Kivyachal Hashem's heart towards this person when his heart is open towards others. It's also a way of separating oneself from this world by giving up your money, by letting go of something of this world. So by letting go of $1, by letting go of something of this world and giving it to somebody else, so that is connected to what we were learning before about separating ourselves from the world and entering into that world of the Shekhinah. Because it's yesh b'zeh bitui la'karka is just an expression of this recognition. Shakesef eina shel ha'adam. Shakesef eina shel ha'adam. That the things that you have in this world are not really yours. They don't belong to you. Ala kol shel Hashem yisbarach. Everything is Hashem. V'adam rak shliach shel habayre. And a person is just a shliach of Hashem. Kach sheb'nesinas tzedakah. When a person does that, Yehudi moisif gam b'emunah v'gam b'bitl. So he's strengthening his emunah that Hashem ha'oretz u'mloah, that everything is Hashem, and also in this avodah of bitl, to be mevatel himself, to separate himself from this world. It's avodah in emunah and gam b'bitl. There's a very beautiful and powerful minhag that Jewish women have had for a long time, that before they light the Shabbos candles, they put a coin into the pushka of Rabbi Meir Balanes. And there are many, many deep reasons for that. It's something that I grew up with, that my mother had. She should be well next to she still has, next to the leichte, next to the candles, a pushka of Rabbi Meir Balanes, and to first put in a coin into the pushka of Rabbi Meir Balanes, and to light the candles, be teich that avodah, come to Shabbos with tzedakah, letting go of this world, and being mo'ira that the rachman, the schus of Meir Balanes, it's something else altogether. Well, it's not for now. Didn't even Meir Balanes. Sheim pnimius in Tefillah. Because emunah and bittul are the pnimius of the whole union of davening, is emunah and bittul. And tzedakah prepares a person and brings a person into that world of emunah and bittul. And then the second thing of ahavta kamaycha, which we've spoken a lot about, this requirement of the Arizal to say before davening, to try to feel this ahavta kamaycha before coming into davening. Shetamsis shin sadik aleph. Shetamsis inyan b'zehu. Shebezeh mischarbim kol Yisrael yos echad. When a person is makabel upon himself, the mitzvah ahavta kamaycha, he's leaving the Rishus HaRabim, and he's entering into that which is the Rishus HaYachid, all in that shorish of our existence, where all Jews are echad, are one with Hashem, and all Jews, there is no separation, everything is echad. Then there can't be any kitrugim. He's in the ocean of echad, and when he's connected to that unity, that oneness of echad, then any of the kitrugim, any of the malachim, any kitrugim are gone, are removed. There's nothing to hold the tefillah back when a person enters into the world of echad. And echad means that there is no separation between you and any other Jew. In the place of echad. Then all of the tefillahs of the Jewish people everywhere in the world, and in truth, even all the tefillahs over all the generations, your davening is in that ocean. Because when you're in that place of echad and you remove any of the blockages of ahavta recha kamaycha, so then in that world of echad there's no distinction between past, present, and future. So you're together with David HaMelech and Moshe Weinberger. You're together with all your Zaydis and all your Babis, and you're together with every Jew in the world right now, all the Jews that were, and you're together with Mashiach Sekenu, all the Jews that are going to be. With all the future Jews, you're part of that ocean of echad, of elokus, which is Kutshabichu, Yisrael, Varaisa, the Jewish people, Hashem. Everything is one. It's all one. And your tefillah is able to join together with all of the tefillahs for thousands of years. Your tefillah becomes part of that big tefillah, of that ocean of tefillahs. The davening becomes part of that tefillah. You can try to think about that and picture it in your mind. There's this ocean of tefillah, and your tefillah is part of that, and you dissolve into that ocean of tefillahs, and your words are in that ocean of tefillahs with all the tefillahs that were before, and all the tefillahs that are going to be. And you could be standing mamish at that moment in the Beis HaMikdash. You could be standing at that moment in Yerushalayim, Beis HaMikdash, and you're there, and all of your tefillahs are together with the tefillahs of all of Am Yisrael. So a person begins davening by trying to come back to that place of Am Yisrael, of Echad, of one. Ki hi mechuberes im shara tefillos. Schus ha-tefillos haruiyos toilet tefilloso. And not only that, but as we'll see, that even tefillos that you davened in the past, that didn't ascend because they were grounded for different reasons, that you weren't able to bring those tefillos up. But when you do this, you're able to all of your earlier tefillos from your entire life, not just other tefillos from other people, your own tefillos, you're able to bring up. You're able to bring all the old tefillos back. Can you imagine? Thousands of tefillos that you davened over the years. That you're able to bring them all. The whole chevra is able to come from all your old tefillos. You can bring into the ocean together with you. It's an amazing thing. Through this hiskashus and Kol Yisrael, by connecting Kol Yisrael, he's moira this deep truth. Shana kolona bonim l'Hashem esbarach. They were all, of course, bonim l'Hashem. U'memela misayrim alav rachmei ha'av yisbarach. On the most basic level, when Hashem sees that you're connected to all of His children and you're part of His family, then a father has big rachmanis on his children. But if you're coming to shul, and to begin with you're annoyed because you don't like the guy sitting next to you, or he took your seat or something, whatever it is, or you have all kinds of inyanim with other people, so then kivyochel, the father's not in a good mood when his children are like at odds with each other. It's just, that's how it is. Every parent knows that. The most upsetting thing for a parent is if the kids are not lomistadrim. It's the most upsetting thing for a parent. The kids are not getting along with each other. There's nothing worse. And the kids are behava, and there's that feeling of echad in the family. So it's more the rachmim of the parents. The parents have tremendous rachmanis then. Even if the kid is not doing everything he should be doing, and it's not the best in school and whatever, but when the children are good with each other, so then the parents have tremendous desires from that. So kivyochel, comes to a person before davening is trying to mechazik this hakara, this feeling of hafta racha kamaycha. So it's more rachmei Hashem that our Father sees that we want to be in that place with every other Jew. And it's more rachmei Hashem. Hashem is that He's filled with rachmanis. Base. Back inside. That's why it's very, very important to try to learn before davening at least a little bit. Because the meaning of davening is the service of the heart for Havas Hashem. And there's a very deep connection between our learning Torah and Ahavas Hashem. V'yoysa Aimek tzarich lakaches es ha'or shel ha'tefillah v'sa'akar b'yichud Hashem es v'shezach lahasik l'hachnes es ha'or l'tach kelim l'har b'koichi es ha'maisim l'raimim maisim. Through our learning Torah before and learning Torah after davening, through learning before and through learning now he's talking about learning Torah achar tefillah. I think before tefillah. By learning a little bit after davening, by learning before, it's opening up the shefa. By learning after davening, then you're taking the Ahavas Hashem that you had during davening, and you're drawing it into the lemaisa of going out into the day, whether you're leaving Shacharis or Mincha, or to go to sleep in a way of kedusha. You're taking the yichud of Hashem, and you're bringing it through the Torah that you learn after davening. You're bringing it into kelim of Asiya, into the kelim of this world. Whatever it is that you learn a Mishnah, you learn a Pasuk Chumash Rashi, you learn a Gemara, you learn some Torah, some Musa, Chassidus, whatever it is. You're taking the Or of Tefillah and you're putting into the Oisius of this world of Torah. And that will illuminate the maisim. That will illuminate what you're doing afterwards. And lift them up. The first thing that a Jew should do every day after he davens, even if it's for 5 minutes, is to learn something. That's how to begin. Because if a person is able to recognize this, to understand that Hashem continues to be with you, it's not just during davening, but to hold on to Hashem for the after davening. That's the way to do that is by drawing the tefillah into Torah, and that's a way of clinging to Hashem through the day. To hold on to that awareness of Hashem's presence. And kol ma'asav hanagos, then yikaroi, then everything that he does throughout the day, hopefully will be karoi. Okay, Hashem to be continued. Sorry.